Free Spirit here. Please subscribe and like my video to see more action. I'll be releasing new videos several times a week. What's going on, guys? This is Free Spirit here playing Tryndamere top. I'm going to set it on fixed camera for now. We're facing a Poppy top today, so let's see how we go with this. I'm going to fast forward a bit so we can get right to it. If you notice, a lot of my games I play a lot of Tryndamere top. The reason is because when you're ranked at a lower level, Tryndamere is a great champion to pick in order to carry up to the higher elos. When you get there, a lot less champion play for Tryndamere, but where I'm at right now at least, it's a very good champion to pick in order to split push. You can win in multiple different ways. Tryndamere has an ultimate that a lot of people call OP. We'll see how that goes today. I'm just going to fast forward and make sure we get through these parts quickly. So against Poppy, what you want to do is, she has a lot of armor against champions like Tryndamere, so it's a very strong pick into Tryndamere. A lot of people say one-on-one laning phase, Tryndamere should come out on top, but a Poppy gets very strong and is a very good team fighter at the end. You'll see there I got a really good trade out there. Basically what happened is both their creeps were low health. I spun through to make sure I don't get any creep aggro, and I pretty much went ahead and chunked down Poppy. Took down half her health. The key with any kind of Tryndamere play is you want to make sure that you pose a threat to the opponent champion at all times. What you'll get is a lot of jungle ganks, so what I usually like to do is take on ghosts so I can escape or maybe even make a play and get a kill. So you'll see here that I'm going down to ward the jungle. You want to make sure at all times you will have clear vision of the river. With Tryndamere, he's very susceptible to ganks pre-6. Once you get your ultimate, you can, if you've been CSing well, you might be able to take on a 2-on-1 depending on the champion. But you'll see here that, again, I spin right through, I make sure Poppy does a really good move, almost pushes me to the tower for me to take some tower damage. Luckily I avoid that. Just make sure with Tryndamere, I would say that he's one of the easier champs to CS with. You want to keep your CS up, you don't necessarily have to kill the opponent champion, but what you want to make sure is that you get strong. The idea behind Tryndamere is that he will scale. Simply put, that he can be an ultimate split pusher, and that he can scale really hard. With the right warding, you can split push towers easily. During Dragon contests, during Baron contests, there's a lot of opportunities to get ahead with Tryndamere. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this a little bit just to make sure that we get through the laning phase and have some team fights. Again, you'll notice that I'm making sure that I can try to get all the CS using my spin if I have to. I do it well under the tower as well. Maybe you'll see a couple of examples. I think what happens is a jungler does come to provide assistance to Poppy, and I'm forced to push back to my tower. So we'll see how I CS under there. One thing I like to try to do is, if the opponent champion is trying to get the cannon creep, I try to get a free hit or two off. Hopefully those hits are crits, especially with Tryndamere with his passive ability. His crit levels are extremely high, and it gives you really a good opportunity to do a lot of damage. So here comes Vi. So I'm going to slow it down here and put it back to regular speed. I'm going to harass him. At the same time, what I'd like to try to do is, if I'm going to spin out to get a CS, I try to throw in a harass at the same time. So here you'll see CS. So I'm put down pretty hard right now, and Nivea's coming. I'm going to go for the hits. Poppy's pretty strong. He's going to try to get me here and see what happens. Nivea's low. Just got the range to get me. That was poorly played on my part. But Nivea does get the kill, and I do get the assist, so I would say for Tryndamere players out there that are just starting off, don't be afraid to engage early on. I don't do it as often, but the idea behind it is if you can get a trade if you die to get a kill, it could be worth it for Tryndamere, only because with the right items, Tryndamere will get very scared. So I'm just gonna lock the camera over here. I don't know what happened. Let's go right there. There we go. Gonna fast forward, get right into lane. So you'll notice on my first back, what I bought is what was it called again? Let me just get. I bought the Bilgewater Cutlass. Now, I never used to buy this. I used to always rush Infinity Edge with Tryndamere. But what I find is because of Tryndamere's ability to cut down champions with his crit, you want to make sure you get as much hits as possible. So if you can time out your Mocking Shout, and then you time out your Cutlass, you can get a lot of free hits on the opposing champions if they are pushed out of lane. So you see there, I use my E to CS the cannon creep. You want to make sure you get all of those. So with Tryndamere, what you want to do is make sure you never engage the champion when your creeps are outnumbered. You want to make sure that if you are going to engage in a fight, that you have an advantage in terms of aggro. So let's see how I CS this part here. I'm going to let the creeps push in, but just far enough so that the tower doesn't cut them down too fast. You know, so, being able to CS under tower without the tower actually hitting the creeps are pretty much what they call lane freezing. You know, you want to make sure you do that whenever you can. Pushing the creeps inside, so right there, I did an attack, and then need to make sure I don't miss any CS with Tryndamere. You know, I'm going to hold here, take some damage in order to keep the lane frozen as long as possible. The idea behind it is, if the lane stays here, I have a very high chance of killing this Poppy without any assistance. Poppy gets a really good hit on me there. Again, he did what I said I was going to do on them, pretty much when I went in for a CS. You want to make sure you do that whenever you can. You know, if you're just starting out, just focus on getting the CS. Once you get the CS down, then it becomes second nature to you. Start timing out the denies. Bottom lane with the perfect kill, putting us ahead. Get the cannon creep there. See, right there, I had to make a decision. His cannon creep is low. Some damage to Poppy. He's pretty strong right now. You gotta remember he has a lot of armor, so with Tryndamere it gets tough to take him down. Sometimes you have to go in a couple rounds. The idea with Tryndamere is you have so much more sustain that against someone like Poppy you don't have to worry. I almost missed a CS, so I used my E again. Just know, don't be afraid to use your E to CS sometimes. I mean, you lose your escape for, I think it's about an 8-second cooldown at the beginning. It's not too bad. Before you know it, you'll be up, and then if you have the river properly boarded, you know, feel free to use it to attack them, to make them miss some CS. You want to stay ahead of your opponents, especially against opponents like Riven, who can really burst down Tryndamere pre-6. You want to make sure that you do what you can to stop them from getting strong. So I can't really do anything here. There's a risk of Poppy pushing me into the tower, so I'm just going to let him take that CS, and I'm going to try to get all my CS here. I think I don't miss anything here. Let's take a look here. And so far, 2-2. Take a free hit on them. Pull the creeps out. Make sure I get that cannon creep. There it is, number 4. Yeah, and the idea behind it is really just make sure you don't miss your CS in the beginning. You can let the opponent champion do it for now. It's not the worst thing in the world, just in case there was any kind of gank. I don't have vision right now, so I'm very susceptible to gank, especially since I can't see where Vi is. Actually, I do see Vi at the bottom. Looks like there's a fight. Let's just go over there and see what's going on. Aatrox gets a kill on Vi. Fiona comes for help. Alright, let's go back to top. Alright. It's a pretty even trade right now. I would say Poppy kept up with me pretty well on early game. I do a lot better later on, so we'll see how that goes.
Unstoppable.
I'm just gonna lock this camera up again. If anyone have any ideas how to make this a lot easier, let me know. I always have trouble with this on all replays, so yes, make sure I don't miss it. You'll see here I'm walking away only because none of their creeps are gonna die before my next wave comes, so I might as well just wait for the tower. Again, I freeze the lane so that the tower doesn't hit it. Make sure I get maximum time out of the tower. I'm gonna miss one there just because they're all too low. That was in part my fault because I spun too quickly into the creeps. Basically, when you use your E, you want to make sure that your spin is right there. I use my compass. It gets really low. You know, he hits me, but because Tryndamere has that Q that replenishes so much health, he really has an advantage. And don't forget, you still have an ultimate that gives you Undying Rage, which makes you invincible for almost 5 seconds. 5 seconds on a Tryndamere is a heck of a lot of damage. Make sure that was a bad one. I waited for it, and I missed it. If you look at the creep count down at the bottom, I made it kind of simple, but hold on, there might be something going on right here. Let's take a look. I'm thinking about it, and I think I back off. So there we are. Pushes me away from the tower, and I back off just in case there's a gank again, and I don't have vision at the moment. I do have a ward up, and I don't think I use it. I see him go back. I see him leave the tower, so I try to push the tower in. I think I get the tower here. Let's take a look. I'm gonna let this go. Oh, looks like Vi's gonna join me in lane here for a second. I'm gonna try to take it. Yeah, Poppy comes back. So with Vi, what you want to do? That was ill-timed, but what you want to do is when you see her charge her punch and she's about to punch you, wait for your spin. Don't spin right away. Wait for the spin. Wait till she's approaching you with her punch, then you throw the spin out. So now I know that Vi is still around. Aatrox is giving me support, but I decided to back off toward the river just because I know Vi is close by. I'm going to miss both of these CS here. Poppy pushes me away. Actually, looks like I get both of them. Let's see what's going on here. Ari dodges the... Oh, there they are. Vi kill. Think. His passive and see if he can jump out. Looks like he might... just nice. Let's go back onto the... Again, with the creep at that health, you let one tower hit, attack. If you don't get it with a crit, then what you want to do is make sure you use your E to get the creep. Pretty much with Tryndamere, if you are underneath your tower, you should be able to creep. CS 100%. I find that I have absolutely no problem CSing under a tower, unlike a lot of other champions with lower base damage. So right now I'm just trying to hit him down. I spun ahead of him, if you saw there. It's a strategy with Tryndamere. He takes a lot of back row. I play this really poorly. I think I misclicked something, and I just was standing there. But he gets me. I turn on my ultimate here only because I know he has a cooldown coming, and if I didn't kill him there, his next hit would have killed me. So I turned it on knowing that he was waiting to turn on me. So a part of my top lane is really understanding the champions you're facing. For example, if you're facing a Riven, that situation would have been dangerous. I may have even backed off with my ultimate. So I'm going back here, so I'm going to run over to see that our bottom lane is really pushed in. Looks like we're going for Dragon. Ari's running away. Let's see if these guys can make a play here. Tristan is coming from above. Nope. So now we got another easy Dragon. That is passive heal and survives that attack. Now the Ari comes down with her. Main's coming in. This Vi is dead. There's no way this Vi is going to survive. And let's see what goes on up here. And you'll see my record right now is still 1-on-1. There really isn't much going on. Poppy has a lot of armor. I can't really do much to her until I get more items. Right now I have the BF sword, so I'm getting stronger. I'm going to take this ward out. You always want to trick the tri-bush. You want to make sure that they aren't getting free vision for a long period of time. I think I see Poppy leave here and I start pushing in the lane. I try to get some traction and pressure on the tower so that my other lanes are more free. Trying to force another champion to come up to help. And that's it. Tryndamere, what you want to do is you want to constantly pressure the lane. You want to give your teammates opportunities to have a 4-on-3, a dragon 4-on-3 at a tower. You want to give them an advantage by pressuring the lane constantly. But right now, you'll see I'm not doing the greatest job at warding, but the idea behind it is if you have a spot right here warded, maybe even here warded, you can see everything that comes into this jungle, and you can pretty much push this lane all the way in without any worry. Let's see what's going on here. Going on with the engagement, with the kill. I don't know about you guys, but I really like Leona engage. Her ultimate as well is very powerful. See, Poppy was keeping up with me all along. Her CS is only 20 below, but I'm pressuring her. And once I got a couple of items, now I'm too strong for her. She's unable to pretty much defend outside of her tower. Lucky red buff for me. I see Vi over here because we had a win, so I go ahead and I take this without. Usually, what you want to do is when you're stealing a buff, you want to pull the buff over here into the bush so that if someone comes around back, you're safe. I'm waiting to see if Poppy's going to push forward. If she does, I was going to get some free hits on her. She wards it, so I don't really do much. I go ahead and push the lane in. You'll notice with our team composition, we have two champions on our team that both revive after death. It makes a big difference in this game. Oh, Anivia's going for a play. Let's see what she does. And it does not. Oh, wait. It is not enough. It was a close play, though. Poppy's going to stand at her tower. I'm going to make sure that I'm still getting CS while we're waiting for the lane to be pushed out. But the application of pressure on the lane will keep Poppy out of any team fights where she excels. She can be a very, very heavy tank for a team fight. So basically keeping her out of the fight is what you want to do with Tryndamere. And the moment she leaves the fight to give her team an advantage, that's when you pounce on the tower. You split push as hard as you can. You get the inhibitor. Tryndamere is one of the best split pushers, backdoor champions in the game. You want to take advantage of that fact. Take this tower. Fast forward a little bit here, see what's going on. It looks like both teams are backing off. I push the lane. I think I back off here. Yeah. I know all the champions are coming. They're all missing. I see Anivia's about to start the fight. Ari's coming in, so I'm gonna go help her out. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, we escaped here, no problem. We're thinking about turning on them, but it's just not worth it at this point. Other lanes are getting free towers, so Nivea gets taken down here. I run over, make sure I take Ari out. I mean, if we're gonna go down, make sure Ari goes on too. I had to use the colors because she had too much mobility. I run in here, let's see what I can do. I think I have him walking shout. And Morgana goes down. There's a lot of damage up with this team. And you'll see that we're already pushed in bot lane at the same time. We're chasing people off there on the first side. It's a very, very strong team composition we have here.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
fight. All our team members are low. I'm just going in, chomping at everyone. I see Chris beside me. I think they get a couple of them here. 2. Pretty sure I die here. There we are. Maybe cleans up. I get the assist. Talk a little bit about Tryndamere counters. If you're playing ranked game and you're picking first or second, I actually don't recommend the Tryndamere play, only because there are hard counters out there for Tryndamere. There's a lot of champions out there that will give you a hard time. For example, if you see the other team is try to avoid playing Tryndamere, as Cannon can really burst Tryndamere down, as well as escape if Tryndamere tries to engage. There really is nothing Tryndamere can do. Even CS or kill Cannon. There's a lot of bad matchups out there. So what I like to do is I like to see where my new position is. If we're playing with a bunch of friends, what they like to do is they like to save Tryndamere for me so that I can pick them late in the match. Because nobody bans Tryndamere, it's almost an easy pick if the other team has not picked a counter. So I'm just going in here. Really good disengage by Triss. Still have my ultimate up, so I'm just gonna go 2 swings. Got the 1 crit. I took out Ari. I think Tristana's gonna try to come and help. Right over. Now we're about to die here, so I gotta get out. 1 more hit and I'm dead. The thing with Tryndamere is with lifesteal, if you get the cutlass, you can heal your HP back by farming 1 jungle. So I'm just gonna go run over here and take that tower, but if I'm gonna press Q, I believe, here to replenish my health. And I'm already back to half. That's how quick it is. You don't have to disengage completely. All you need to do is go farm 1 or 2 jungles and you're at full health. I'm gonna fast forward here. I think we take this tower pretty freely. This one, they try to engage us here. At the tower they have the advantage, of course. But we do have a lot of hope. We do have a lot of from the side. Leona with the perfect engage. And my ultimate is dead. Lucky for me, right? Watch it go. Didn't even notice. That's a wrap. Please subscribe and like my videos if you like what you see. Thanks for watching.